Oh, no, they are backfill. Okay, there we go. They are backfill. I got it. This is not ideal, but let's go. So we go Baptiste.
No dying on my watch.
We are not responsible for first point. First point is already lost. So we backfill. That's the point. The general idea is Baptiste. You want to position somewhat similar to Anna. The ideas for finding positions are usually the same ones. You want a position that has a good sideline, right? This is very important. You want a position where you have cover and ideally also high ground. And you want a position where you can retreat safely. So you have a safe way out. In this case, for example, you would like to be up here. Then you can go forward, do damage, heal down to your team. And if someone presses you, you can just drop back to your team. Creep very backfield, what the fuck. Yeah, it's okay. We will watch it. It's okay. It only 8 minutes, so let's get started with it. There was a request now. So Baptiste, very important. Aim your healing. You're shooting your healing at the enemy. Don't do that. You're shooting your shots at the enemy now. Good job. No, don't use the immortality field like that. So, okay, let's go back. And I can already... Of course, we lost first point, and here we should be healing Ryan. You're reloading, even though you're missing, like, nothing. We are missing 3 shots on the main, and no shots on left click. And we could be healing the Ryan right now. And we should be healing the Ryan right now. We could have maybe kept him alive. And then we just keep shooting at a long distance. Here, again, positioning is not good. You really just want to be on the high ground. If you crouch for a second or two, you get your exo boots charged up, and you can just take the high ground. And there is no reason for you to pop your immortality in here. You're not gonna die from this, and all you have to do is step forward, wait, crouch, and then jump to the high ground, and then this guy can't shoot at you anymore. Popping your immofield here is pretty bad. You basically lost your best cooldown, and you still use the AoE heal. So you literally wasted both of your cooldowns to survive. This the review is Plat right now. Okay. We heal the team. Again, we will not have the emo field anytime soon, which is a problem. We should really be taking high ground for positioning. Baptiste has the very big ability in regards to other somewhat long range healers that he's got actual mobility. Like he's a little bit of a mix between Moira in the sense that he can actually survive by himself, and Anna in the sense that you actually do a lot of long range healing if you want to. Also AoE healing like Moira. Yeah, don't just take the high ground. Just take the high ground. You can do it. Just crouch and take the high ground. It is possible. So imagine if you were just up here. Not only do you have the same ability to heal your team, but you can also from up here you can pressure the enemy from no problem. Baptiste has Baptiste is kind of like a jack of all trades. He's got Moira's AoE healing ability. AoE healing ability. So his right click, the heals actually heal in an area of effect where they land. He's also got the regenerative burst, which is also AoE healing, and it's actually pretty good AoE healing as well. So you can consider this basically like a Moira orb, except it's actually better because this is like up to 600 HP, whereas the Moira orb only heals for 300 HP. Of course, it's got the difference that it's close range instead. But Moira is basically the opposite, where her AoE healing, her actual healing, is close range, right? Moira's healing is close range, whereas yours is long range AoE healing. You don't need to be close to them. But on the other hand, to use your regenerative burst, you have to be close to them, and Moira's orbs can be thrown for distance. So in that sense, they are kind of opposites. But to note, Baptiste can do healing and damage at the same time. And this is very important for Baptiste. Even if you are only shooting at the shield, it's worth to just hold left click between your between your shots because we are at 222. I'm just gonna real quick enter the practice and show Baptiste that I just want to make sure that we show it. Baptiste. You can press right click and still do the left click. You can actually do them both at the same time. You can just hold them if you need be. You can do both at once. Ideally, you want to focus on healing, but every now and then, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot. And you don't have to be like incredibly accurate with your left click. Even if you're hitting, like you can actually like kill people with it, but even if you're shooting a shield, you're getting value. You're helping pressure the enemy. But this damage is actually pretty good. It's not a focus. It's obviously not the focus of his hit. He's a healer. He wants to be healing, right? But he between right clicks always try to like spam one burst of your left click because it is actually pretty decent amount of damage, and you really want to get that pressure out there. Let's go back. Dorado. We're at 222.
Traveling to Dorado, ready for battle.
So here we are basically only healing. We should be, because there is no reason for you not to hold left click at the same time. Like aim your right clicks and try to heal your team, but at the same time, between right clicks you have enough of a delay that you can just shoot at the enemy. You've got 3-shot burst, so you will run out of healing always before you run out of ammo. So you shouldn't worry about that part. Like you should not worry about reloading this. Reload if you're healing, it's reloading. But yeah, always, if you can, always be holding left click. Like here, we should just be holding the left click. And it takes a long time. Emo down on the ground. Emo down on the ground. They use Blade. We want to emo. So if they use, like, they are actually using a lot of ultimates, but Blade is an important one. Just throw your immortality down. Your immortality will actually counter a lot of those one-hit ultimates. Especially like Genji's, for example, because Genji needs to get the kill to reset dash. If Genji is not getting kills because you throw the emo down, then we've got the immortality field up there and he cannot kill anyone. He has to turn around to kill the emo field, and we can shoot at the Genji and kill him, or just keep your team alive, right? We haven't used the emo field yet, and he didn't get anyone, which is really bad for the Genji, but you should still be using your emo field for a Blade and healing your Ryan again. That was late reaction to the emo field, and you should have been healing your Ryan. Like, remember, healing is your priority. Like, I'm fine with this. Here, start healing your Ryan. He's needing it. He's like stun and way out of your line of sight. So I'm like, you should be moving to heal your Ryan. Instead we're shooting the Genji, and now Ryan is in our line of sight and we are not healing him still. Yeah, your reactions are just a little slow. I would definitely recommend focus on healing rather than damage. Because if you cannot focus on both at once, just hold this one, don't bother with aiming it. Like, you're trying to hit the Genji, which is not the right idea. The idea of using this is applying pressure in between healing, not using it as a main damage source, because at that point you might as well just take a soldier, right? So you want to use this all the time, but you don't want to aim it as much as you want to make sure your healing is hitting. So we make sure our healing is hitting, and we just shoot the left click in the general enemy's direction to try to get damage done. Also heal the ground. It's a lot easier if you hit. It's not as much healing. If you get a direct hit, it's better, but if you hit the ground, you're basically guaranteed to get the AoE. Whereas if you shoot at them and you miss, you will get nothing. So always try to aim for like the feet. Because if you miss with your healing and you hit near their feet, they will still get the AoE healing. Whereas if you hit directly, yeah, it's better, but if they move and you miss, you get no healing. So always try to aim for the feet when healing. This is a last fight anyway. We don't use the window. We beat, so maybe we commit to the window. Okay, we do commit to the window. Remember, the important thing about the window is that your shots do twice as much healing through the window. It's not so much about your team's damage. You actually don't have like anyone in your team really that can. Torjun is the only one whose shots get a lot of value from the window, and of course your own. But like Vine only has Fire Strike. Ball is not gonna be here to use the window. Lucio doesn't do enough damage, and Genji is probably neither going to be here, not getting enough value. So this is a really good window to do twice as much healing. So if you really want to give your Rhine alive, for example, and he wants to go very aggressive, you can window behind your Rhine and right click, and he will get twice the healing he would if you were just right clicking on him. Regenerative burst, okay, don't shoot at deflecting Genji. Yeah, this was not a great window. If you had maybe if you had like McCree, right? Or Soldier, or Hanzo, or Ash, or any hero that can attack from. I believe this is like low plat on this one, but it is literally their first time playing Baptiste, apparently. We don't need again to use the emo for ourselves like that. Only use the emo for yourself if you are literally about to die.
Get inside.
Yeah, I believe they usually play Ana. Ana Mercy, really. Just heal, that's fine. Again, we don't need to go for the kills, we can let our team do the killing so long as you're putting pressure on them. And focusing on healing when it's important. Like, there's no reason for you to be shooting the shield there. Then it got taken away, but... Kill your team, like, there's a Dovjo behind you that is healing, Ryan is healing, Lucian is healing, but I don't know where he is. Actually, this is Lucio, don't worry about Lucio. Don't worry about Lucio. If he's out of your line of sight, it's not your problem at that point. Unless it's your tank. If your tank pushes forward, you want to push forward with tank. But if a DPS, or in this case your Reddit Lucio, is too far forward, you can let them survive by themselves. And yeah, Torben has been too low for a long time now. So again, we should be taking the high ground. We could be helping with the Pharah as well, like they have Pharah. If you are playing here, the Pharah cannot push the easy way because you can actually kill Pharah before she can kill you. With decent aim, you don't even need great aim. With decent aim, you can kill Pharah because she's an easy target and she doesn't have mercy before she kills you. Because she also requires, she shoots slower. We're taking the high ground, we are not taking the high ground, we're just dodging and yeah, jumping around the place. So we could be getting a lot more value both of our left click, out of right click, our window, and the exo boots. I would recommend trying to focus on one at a time to, well, make sure you are getting value. I would honestly recommend focusing on your exo boots so that you can take high ground a lot easier. It's very impactful, and it is also your best way of dodging dive. Like if someone drops on top of you and you just get away, then to follow you they have to use a cooldown. Then you can drop again, and you have no cooldown on those. So it's actually a very good way to get out of being Diven, out of a flanker, out of anything. And of course, just starting on the high ground is even better. If you start here, they have to come up here, and to contest you, they have to use a cooldown. And then you just drop, and they drop, and you just go back up. Like any counter dive is basically that way. Except, yeah, if they have a Widow, you have to be more careful. But you can still play here, except if the Widow is playing main. Even if she's playing like on the bridge, you can still play like here. And if the Widow grapples up, then you just drop. Because she will probably not take a shot in the air at your rank. Like some Widows may actually get like a grapple shot on you, but I doubt it on Plat rank. And if you get better, then if you get at higher ranks, then you can start playing here instead and going out to hit your team, and then you can come up all the way up here, right, and try to help your team from this way. But the too long don't read is high ground is good positioning so that the enemy cannot really do damage to you. And if you have to, you can just drop. Or drop on your team. Or hide. It just gives you more options. Because if you're here, the only way you can go is up or away. You can try to do this, but you'll probably die. You can try to push into their team, but you'll probably die. And even going up takes you a couple seconds of charging the exo boots. So just starting here is usually a lot better. Like here or all the way back here. This is more dangerous, but you have a better sideline. So if you think that in this case they have nothing that can snipe you, you can just play here instead. So you can do damage, you can do healing, and you can just do it all. And If you have to from up here, you can drop, you can back out, you can drop this way, you can hide. Doing damage here is fine. Now you heal the right. Remember, you can do both at once. Also, don't waste your emo shield like this. Like, hold on. We are healing right. This is fine. Again, aim at the foot. You missed 2 shots there that you would not have missed if you were aiming at the feet. Heal right click as well. Ryan is still missing health. There is no reason for you not to be right clicking on top of left clicking. And this emo is wasted. Your Lucio dies because he goes too far forward. That's not your fault. But yeah, I feel like in all of your cooldowns right now with Baptiste, you are taking 1 second too long to react. It's like I see a Rhine and then I start healing. Rather than just, I assume if you are playing Ana, you've already been looking at the Rhine and healing him. You see a ball and then you start shooting. I feel like you are one pace too slow with Bab's cooldowns and decision making. And because we wasted emo earlier, we don't have it for the blade, which is really unfortunate. I would just, yeah, window here to, I was about to say, I would just window here to double my healing for the Rhine. You don't have to put it like this though, just put it this way, so your entire team can use it. And we just light the brush. Also, you went too far forward. Again, positioning on the high ground would be ideal. Here, they beat. Why are we literally standing on top of the Rhine? We are not playing Moira. We should be all the way back here. There's no reason for you to push forward here. Like, Rhine would probably die, but you would be alive. And you can probably even kill the... Well, she got beat, so actually not, but... again, positioning, don't go close to the Rhine. Remember, you are basically the opposite of Moira. You can do AoE healing from a long range. You don't want to be like extremely far away, but you can still be like a good distance away, more than 10-15 meters even. And you can do fine. But if your team needs a burst, then you go closer and use your healing burst, and then you just try to get out or try to get high ground. You can play close to your team. Like you don't have to be like Ana. You're not a sniper like Ana. So you don't have to be all the way away, but you can play at a longer range than Moira and still get the most value out of your healing. Because at this range, aiming your healing is very easy. Again, if you aim at the feet, you will usually get value even if you miss the person. Okay. Going back, the fight looks won. Yeah, fight definitely looks won. Did they fix this? No. For a second there I had the hope that they had fixed that. Okay, so again, your Lucio is basically just feeding, like look where he is. So don't worry about your Lucio. Focus on healing your tanks. You took the high ground for the first time, I like it. The fight seems like it's kind of already lost. We just 2 people, but at the very least we are in the right position. And here you can just shoot at the Pharah. Like, Pharah is an easy target for you. Either she drops and gets away from your line of sight, or she takes 1 shot at you, you pop your regenerative burst, you stay alive, and you only need to hit like 6 shots, which is sounds like a lot, but considering you have burst of 3, it's not that much. Yeah, there you go. You kill the Pharah. Great job. You get hit once by AoE. You didn't even need to pop this. I'm fine with you using it. You basically just kill the Pharah, but we didn't even need to. Don't look away though. Just always look at your team. Like your team is below you. Okay, we drop to heal. This is okay. Remember, you can always just get back up. So I'm fine with dropping to heal. Here you should be just taking the high ground again so that you don't get even by Genji. And emo is either late or unnecessary. I would say unnecessary because you just missed so many shots on this Torv. Like, looking at the Torv, right? His health is at about 100. We hit that one, then we miss, and then we missed the emo. So not ideal. Emo is still good for flags, looks like. And we beat anyway, so we are fine. What are we trying to do? Like, kill the Genji? Again, this is not what we do. If you can do damage, that's good, but you should be trying to heal people here. And the best way you can do that is take the high ground, see if anyone is past the shields. I believe your Rhine is actually way past the shields. Then if you take the high ground, like from here, you can see your Rhine. You can heal your Rhine, right? I would just take the high ground to heal past their shields. That's a good shatter anyway from your Rhine. Yeah, we should still win this fight. And you're still getting some value. Careful about behind you, there's a Pharah. You should work on your exo boots a little bit to take the high ground. I don't think your right click accuracy is terrible. I don't think your left click accuracy is terrible. You're just not using them at the right time, especially together. But yeah, take the high ground as well. That's very important. Like, you are basically a very difficult to dive support if you play Baptiste right. If you take the high ground, if you save your emo, if you save your burst for as long as you can. If you have these, you're not gonna die. So don't just use them at the first sign of danger. Play safe. Emo the ground. Like, there's a blading Genji in front of us. Just emo right here. That would just look back. Emo. Then everyone survives. You may not need it because this Genji has not been getting a ton of value from his blade. But I would still use it. It's the right call. Jumping is also fine, but drop the emo, drop the emo, drop the emo. He still got no value, but I still would have dropped the emo immediately. Like, trading a 30-second cooldown for the Genji's blade is always worth it. And you basically prevent him from getting actual value with it. And you seem really eager to use it to keep yourself alive, but I haven't seen you use it to properly keep your team alive. So you've tried to use it on the Torv, on the Rhine, and missed, which again is once a good relay with the cooldowns. Heal your Rhine, don't focus on shooting people. Heal your Rhine, you are a main healer. Kill your team. You need to keep your Rhine alive. You are the only healing he's got. He dies, that's your fault. Like, you tried to throw the emo around the corner, but you were distracted with shooting and you didn't go forward. Remember, ideally you want to be doing both at once, but always prioritize healing. Your damage is something you can add on top of that to get value, but it's not your main, it's not the main part of your kit. The main part of your kit is that you can do a lot of healing. AoE healing at that. This regenerative burst is fine. We don't use the window here, it looks like it's a lost fight. You try to go for the Pharah, you try to contest the point. We are using ultimates. What? We need to contest the point. That's a weird one though. Again, we went from lost fight to one fight. It's probably a one fight now, and this is a terrible window. Not only are you the only one who can use it, no one in your team is here. Your team doesn't need healing right now, you are the only one who needs healing. And you are very low on HP, so imagine if you died and the enemy team just... This is bad window. And of course you are also in a bad position because you dropped. You are nowhere near your team after dropping and this is the respawn. So I would honestly just have to stay on the high ground. Good shot, but again, window was unnecessary. It went basically from a lost fight to a one fight after your team got 3 picks with the Torbjorn ultimate and the mines. And yeah, then we just also used the window really weirdly. Remember, especially in this comp, your window is basically twice. It doubles your healing. That's its function. It's basically the only thing it does in this comp is double your healing. Maybe do a little bit more damage with the Torsion and the turret, but it really is just that double your healing function. And no one in your team knew the healing. We heal, we should focus on heal. We can do both though. Heal your tanks, heal your tanks. Don't worry about your DPS and your Lucio again. If they're out of your line of sight, they're not the problem. You're a main healer. You want to make sure that you are healing your tanks. Keep them alive. And Lucio and Genji can kinda figure things by themselves. Looks like I won't fight. Which is good for us, of course. can heal Lucio, that's good, but you shouldn't be over committing to a position like this. Also, if you were up here, all you would have had to do is peek out, take a shot, and go back. I feel like your exo boots are not quite there. You're trying to get to the high ground, but you haven't really gotten it right like several times in a row. So again, if you practice with them a little bit, it will definitely improve your... Well, you'll be able to take the high ground in one extra boot. We don't worry about Genji. We try to heal him. It's fine. You pop your healing, then you drop. We want to drop because now they have like a Diva and a Pharah who can chase after us, so I would just drop. And the Genji, of course. Don't jump like this in the middle of the fight, by the way. If you get Divan and someone is on top of you, you can jump to get away. But while you're just waiting like this, you're basically asking to get hooked, to get shot by a fire rocket, right? You're very predictable when you're in the air. So, yeah. Use your jump, use your movement to, well, take the high ground and dodge diving, right? But don't just spam it. I don't want to say there is no reason to spam it, but spamming it like this will make you more vulnerable. And there is usually no reason to do it. Good burst, you're trying to heal. I'm actually okay with this emo. Yeah. Good emo against Barrage. Looks like they may take this. But again, your team has basically just pulled ultimates out of your ass and won the fights anyway, so yeah, look at this shadow. That